What up, guys? Welcome back to another cool and fun episode of the Barbell Brigade Talk Show. I'm with Mike and JAMARR. And JAMARR recently got invited to do, what's the official name? The rally?
I think SBD Raleigh.
SBD Rally. And it seems like it's amounting to be like the American Sheffield. So like on that topic, what do you think it takes? Because me and Mike always talk about this all the time. What do you think it takes for powerlifting to like hit the mainstream in a way where you can just be a powerlifter and that could be your profession? You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to coach on the side or do anything. Like, what do you think it'll take for it to be like a legit sport?
Oh man, I think that's a hard question for me to answer because like I genuinely don't know. Because we say these things all the time, like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could have more characters in the sport to bring more eyes on the sport. You could do this, you could do that. But in reality, I feel like we are already heading in that direction. But as we're heading in that direction, you see there are more money meets. You see there are more sponsorship opportunities for people. So I don't really know the direct or true answer to that question. I'd be lying if I said I did.
Yeah.
But I think just doing, also with social media, just exploding the way it has and more people into the sport. Like the other day I was in the gym and just seeing the amount of women that were in the gym in the powerlifting section just going ham.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great because we have more eyes on the sport, more people want to get stronger. So I think maybe one thing that could add to that is just possibly more characters. I know I don't really have much of a character online or social media presence in that aspect or regards, but I think definitely like you see people like Russ is a big name that we always talk about. Like he definitely brings way more eyes on the sport and things like that. That does a good job for it. But in terms of like making it like mainstream and just getting a payout, I don't know. That would be hard. But I would ask, what do you think? Actually, Mike, I'm gonna pass this.
I think your character thing is right, and I don't think it's on you guys because I think you have a great character, and a lot of people do. I think a lot's on the organizations themselves, and that's something Bart and I talk about. Yeah, I mean, who does the best at it? In my opinion, it's the NBA and the UFC, right? Yeah. One of my favorite NFL quarterbacks now is Kirk Cousins. If you saw that guy, you'd be like, oh, he's boring. But once they interview him, he's a dad, and he's kind of known as like being the dad. Even his own team calls him like the dad.
Cool.
His wife dresses him. He lives in a very basic house, although he's probably worth $100 million. Yeah. Like he's so chill, so he just wants to go to church in the grocery store. Like he's just so fucking normal. But that's relatable.
Right.
Not everyone's got to be, Stone Cold Steve Austin or something. But I think it's on the federations themselves to tell those stories rather than you guys. Like, if you want to be a pro athlete, your goal is to be a pro athlete. You got to focus on lifting fucking weight. Where like LeBron James isn't worried about telling his story.
Yes.
He's going to play really good, and then the NBA is going to do all that. Oh, it's LeBron versus Kevin Durant. Oh, it's this versus that. So I think a lot's on maybe people like me and Bart. Hopefully, we try to help by telling, interviewing and talking to people and vlogging it. But I think the federations need to kind of crank that up and what that may look like. The other best one, in my opinion, is the Olympics.
Yeah.
These are sports you don't give a shit about or think about for 3.8 years out of your life. Then all of a sudden, for 2 months, I'm invested.
I care about swimming, I care about figure skating, I care
when it
about
comes
diving.
on, I watch all of it.
Bro, it's so fun. And it's because like half of the event, they'll do an hour special on the swimmer's college career and their mom has cancer and who knows what, and they're broke and they do this. And then the race is 30 seconds. But you're so invested in that chick swimming freestyle. And I haven't swam in 10 years. I could barely swim.
It's funny you say that because like I do say this to my friends all the time, especially when it comes to like social media. I'm like, you got to tell stories because I do YouTube, and every time we have like a meet like this SPD Raleigh one that's coming up, I'm going to do a series, right? Cool. And every series I change like the theme, right? The attitude that goes along with that, because storytelling is very compelling, and I do say that to my friends. So I'm glad you brought that up because like think about CrossFit. I was never really into CrossFit, but when the games came out and they were like doing stories on each one of those athletes, like I became a big Tia fan, like massive Tia fan, and she was like constantly coming in third. But I related to that because I felt like I was always good, but just good enough. And I was like, man, I could be so much better. And I was like, once it clicks for her, it's gonna happen. And oh my gosh, she became unstoppable. Yeah. So like I related really well to her. Not the ones who were like constantly winning. But the ones who was like, I work really, really fucking hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I just, circumstances, whatever happened, I slipped up, I messed up this, the events you can't really, plan for. So yeah, I really relate it to her in that aspect.
And CrossFit does a good job. Yeah, they would like send out video camera people similar to UFC and get some footage of them in training camp, talk to their coach for a second, talk to their strength coach for a second. Like they could talk to your training partner.
Yeah.
Then they go interview the dude you might be going head to head with for dots at, like there's a lot of ways to do it.
Behind the scenes stuff.
And some of it is money and resources, but like someone's got to invest.
Yes.
And whether that's the federation or a company that's into that federation, like someone's got to invest and like take a chance on that, because I don't see anyone really doing that.
I was going to ask, do you see that happening right now?
I think better.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's there yet, and I don't know why. We are impressed with what because we're not affiliated with anyone. We don't give a shit. We just like lifting, But I do think Powerlifting America, like the first thing I text Bart was that meet that they're running with the UFC. I was like, Bart, this is the first, and I'm known to be a hater, especially privately, but publicly too. I just talk shit on everyone. I was like, this is the first time someone with powerlifting has a brain. Like, this is fucking sick. And most powerlifting things are like, yeah, we'll be at the South by Southwest Carnival next to the clowns in the corner squatting.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit.
No.
Like, now you're part of UFC International Fight Week, which has been a thing. You're in Las Vegas. Like, you're connected to the biggest promotion, probably the best promotion on the planet. Like, whether it turns out great or not, like, that's such a huge
step in the right direction.
Yeah. It made me raise my eyebrow. Like, oh, you guys are trying.
I saw that and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But
like,
I think that's
another
before the
meet I'm
SPD
signing
rally.
up for.
But I think it's before the SPD rally, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's
in
the
June.
one. That's the one negative
June.
is they announced it like 3 weeks
I was
before the
just
meet.
like, I'm pretty locked into SPD rally at this point though. But like, no, I thought it was super.
Yeah,
sick.
this meet's already in a month, and they announced it like a week ago. But
it
should
turned
be
a lot
great.
of heads.
I'd go compete. That's what I told my guys. My whole gym's trying to get me to compete.
Are you gonna do it?
No.
I
I think it's invite only. But every day I walk
You
in.
could though.
There's
Every-
no qualifying.
No,
total.
there's no
You just
qualifying, so
sign
you
up.
just sign
I
up.
don't know.
Let's do it. You
You
want to
should do it.
I'll like bench 225.
Let's do it, dude.
Yeah, you paved the way, bro.
Dude, my whole gym every day, like, dude, you going to compete? I was like, this is the one thing that's kind of dope. Like, it would be cool to
This would be the one meet you do and just like retire.
Yeah,
you know
I'll
what I
just
mean?
squat
Powerlifting
135.
America, like in the short amount of time they've been around, they've made the biggest moves that I've seen.
have.
Because it almost seems like every other Fed, like no disrespect or anything, but every other Fed seem like they're trying to build the Fed, if that makes sense. Which is it also like you can't blame them. Like you want to make a name for yourself. Powerlifting America seems like they're trying to build a name for the sport.
They're building powerlifting.
So it's bigger, So it's bigger than just the Fed, and then because of that, it's like, oh shit, they're pushing the sport into the UFC.
Yeah.
Into like, oh, this is going to be a Sheffield in America. And it's like, it's bigger and bigger. And I think that is what in turn is going to draw in the money, bring in the bigger brands. And I think just kind of like, if we have any like precedents to follow, like remember back in the day, if you liked MMA, you wore like an Affliction shirt or something.
Yeah.
You need the whole ecosystem.
You do.
Yeah, you need the Fed to tell the story. Then you need the brands to support, and then you have the fan base support the brands. Then the brands can now spend money on the athletes, sponsor, and it kind of goes in a circle for an extended period of time.
I think SPD has done such a great job doing that. I was very invested in SPD at a very early stage, and just committed to like loving them, and like a good brand's a good brand. It is what it is. And I like recently got sponsored, so it's been years.
Wow.
But that just shows my commitment to them. But also, it wasn't just that; it's the amount that they give back to the athletes and to the sport. And I think that was one conversation I was having with someone from SPD. I won't put them out there because this again goes against what he was saying. It's about the athlete. It's about you putting you out there. We are working behind the scenes. We don't need to be seen. Like you are the athlete, and I really love that just because it just pushes like. You're the athlete, we're investing in you, we're investing in the sport, we want you to grow. And they give you that platform to do so. They give you opportunities to do so. And I think we need more of that. So it goes back to you saying like, putting it on the federations, the sponsors to tell those stories. Because I really do feel like I've been telling my own story for a very long time in whatever federations I was in because I built my profile. The federations didn't build my profile for me.
We all have.
Absolutely.
That's like what we've talked to Russ about it behind the scenes. We've talked together behind the scenes, and like for now, we're the old guys running meets. But people ask us like, well, what Fed do you want to run? I was like, I don't need a Fed. Like the Fed needs us. Like the culture is stronger than the sport right now, and that's kind of going back to what Bart and you said. Like NBA worries about putting the best brand of basketball in their eyes. The UFC worried about making MMA cool.
Yeah.
They didn't worry about like no one's wearing a UFC shirt, and they don't care.
Yeah.
And they don't need you to wear a UFC shirt. Like, you can do whatever you want. Same with the NBA. Like, who's buying NBA merch? You don't need it. They don't care. They want you to be into the culture and buy a jersey, maybe, but everyone's wearing Nike socks. Everyone's right because Nike's that part of that ecosystem that builds the whole thing.
Yes.
And I would agree, SBD, at least for giving back to the sport and like just being about the culture, is probably the leader, right? They're in strongman. They're obviously a UK brand. Cool. They sponsor all the UK weightlifters. They even dabbled into CrossFit. Like they're just about the culture, and that's really what it's got to be.
I agree.
I do wish their knee sleeves helped me squat more.
No, we're just
you know what's crazy?
We're just weak, dude.
I love his videos. Yeah, because his videos about, you see this knee sleeve? Boom, 800. I was like, wow.
It's the what is it? The 5mm knee sleeves? Yeah, I wear the short, thin ones of paper, man.
Yeah,
they're not.
You don't even need knee sleeves.
No, I do.
What's your best naked knees?
I actually don't. Over 6, I know that for sure.
You could probably squat 7.
I think 6. Well, I did beltless 672 and 683, but yeah, I'm sure I can squat 7. Like,
I'm sure too.
I think you squat 790 and knee sleeves.
No. But no, I do enjoy like the thinner knee sleeves. They're just easier to train with.
That's what I tell everyone. I wear 2XLs, and my legs aren't that big, but I just don't care. I'm just trying to.
I think people give too much to them.
I need whatever I need to help.
That's a more recent thing too. Like everyone's always been, for lack of a better term, like a gear whore because it's cool,
sure.
right? Same with basketball.
I agree.
You want the new sneakers, you want the new whatever, but like the amount of competitiveness within the companies building new sleeves is kind of new, and then like the arguments, all the community themselves, like, no, these are tougher. Like, no,
I literally just stripped myself and was like, here we go. It's all about you, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's like, who's the best squatter?
Exactly, Bart. We're gonna put you on some 5mm knee sleeves and go squat. I planned on squatting in 5mm tomorrow.
I know.
I had planned on it.
We had catch you guys up. We had a really sick drop, and then Jamal was gonna squat something insane.
Yeah.
But then overseas shipping and stuff like that, so we ended up having to postpone the entire shoot. But we'll keep you guys posted.
Maybe a big squat will happen either way.
Oh, yeah, probably. Sure. You gonna train on barbell tomorrow?
I'm training, but I'm not squatting because once it was like, I was like,
get back to the plan.
I was like, get back on plan.
Squatting 800, does it take a lot out of you?
It takes me months to recover. Like literally. Like the first time I did it, it was uncharted territory.
Yeah.
You didn't know what it was, and I didn't realize it took me months to recover.
Do you get like your eyes get all like shot and you're like
after the rep, I'm like, I got to calm down. Wow. But like for my body to fully recover, it takes me at least 6 to 8 weeks.
What's your max weight that you can squat weekly and your body just recovers?
Like 705.
God damn.
Yeah, like I'm at that point. Yeah. But like I wouldn't do it weekly because it is still a lot on my spine,
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah, regardless of something being 70% of your max, we're still dealing with like ultimate weight and gravity.
My working sets is like 485, sometimes 440. You know what I mean? Because like it's a lot of my body.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm also doing this consistently for years.
Yeah. Do you think because sometimes there's the argument of like when we use kilos, it's like not as relatable to
it's not
to the regular gym goer, and if we want to grow the sport, we need more eyeballs. Do you think that like if there was ever a move to use calibrated pound plates, so it's still like like tested at an international level and standardized, do you think that would open it up a little bit more, where like person at home could be like, oh shit, that's that many plates?
I mean, that would make me think like, would we say the same about weightlifting?
I don't even know if people like weightlifting.
I don't think people like any of it. What I talk about in terms of that is like, well, people just don't understand. So like, if you go to our moms and say, hey, we lifted 500 today, they don't know what the hell 500 actually means.
Right.
Like, oh, that sounds heavy. But like for JAMARR, that's not that heavy. For me and Bart, that is heavy. Like it just doesn't matter.
It's all right.
We're like strongman. They do a good job because they're like, he's lifting 3 elephants.
Yes.
And they're like, oh shit. Or they're literally like backpacking a refrigerator.
If you had someone to like, MC and things like that, absolutely.
I see. We need Joe Rogan.
Yeah, because people have no idea, right?
Yeah.
We're like, even basketball, we've all gone to the park and at 10 feet, like, dang, that's high. And so you see Jordan do this, you're like, dang, that's hard. But no one really knows what 500 is unless you lift weights.
Facts.
Yeah. So we need our Dana White to push the sport.
Yeah.
We need our Joe Rogan to do the color commentator and relate the weight to 3 elephants.
I think so.
And what else do we need?
I have noticed that. Not to be mean to anybody, because people volunteer their time and work really hard. But a lot of the announcers for a lot of meets, big, small, medium, talk like they're talking to powerlifters.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
You know?
That was an RPE 7.5.
Yeah.
The regular person's like, I don't know what that means,
Yeah,
bro.
JAMARR's opening pretty heavy for his 9 RPE. I'm like, dude, no one cares, right? But like,
no one cares about
yeah, you got to kind of like, and if you're a lifter, you already know. If you're a lifter, you already know. Like, oh, we know JAMARR's, trying to push
but
this
we're trying to grow that world.
Right. And that's how a lot of NBA guys, like Steve or whoever, Reggie Miller, all these ex-guys, they're not talking like they're writing up a playbook for Duke men's basketball. They're talking like they're talking to their buddies at a bar.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What do you guys think? What do we need to grow the sport, to take it to the mainstream so we can have professional athletes and have powerlifting be like a legit sport? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next episode.